Hello, I'm NBG and welcome to my channel. I'm going to have some gameplay in the background. It's just a random game that I played during the beta of Modern Warfare 2. And I just want to kind of give my thoughts as a casual dad gamer, as somebody who just plays for fun. I usually play this, with like my daughter and my wife and things of that nature. It's never too serious. That's the kind of player I am. It's a game. I play for fun. I want to give my thoughts and opinions on the beta and kind of how I feel certain things are. You see a lot of people's thoughts that are, these pro gamers, these pro, Call of Duty players, or these people who like that's what they make their living off of, right? And I wanted to give the perspective of somebody who really does just play the game casually for fun. I played Call of Duty forever, right? I played, Battlefield since probably the first Battlefield. I really enjoyed Bad Company 2. I kind of play a little bit of every shooter for the most part. I'm somebody who plays shooters off and on when they're good or when I just kind of get that itch. I enjoyed Vanguard. I thought it was okay. It wasn't the best by any means. I played it enough to grind out the final camo. I did not play Cold War. I hated it in the beta. It was enough for me not to buy. I really enjoyed probably the most recent Modern Warfare is probably my favorite in the series. It's the game that I actually just really enjoyed, and I was really sad when it was time for that one to end in terms of like being the main game, right? In terms of being the one that everybody was playing. So anyway, I want to talk about a bunch of things. First of all, let's talk about the red dots on the minimap. I like the change to where people firing aren't just going to show up on the minimap. It requires you to slow down and listen more and pay attention to your surroundings and go to the sound of the gunfire rather than just running from red dot to red dot. That's kind of how Call of Duty's always worked, is just running from red dot to red dot. I understand people don't like change, but I like how it slows down the gameplay a little bit more. I like it. I don't think it's a bad thing. However, the reason why I don't think it's a bad thing is because you got to mix it with a few other things to make it feel good, and we'll talk about that in a minute. As you can see from this footage, regardless of how bad I'm playing, again, I'm not a pro. I play for fun. I really like the sniper. The sniper feels really good. I like how snappy it felt. I like the oomph that it had. And as I'm aware, this is like with no attachments or anything with this gun in the beta. I don't really know. All I know is it felt good, and I really enjoyed it. So that's one thing I really liked. I like the recoil on the other weapons, making them, I wouldn't say necessarily feel more realistic. I don't really have another way to explain it, but I liked that the other guns just had a little bit, definitely more recoil. It obviously made it harder for me to aim, but I don't think every gun should have to be a damn laser beam. I just, yeah, it doesn't bother me. I like it. It also helps slow down the gameplay just a little bit. Going off of that, there is a very fast time to kill, and I think that's obviously by design. I think there's a fast time to kill because of some of the other changes, like the red dot on the minimap changes, because you can't normally just, think of Vanguard, and you spawn, and you just instantly sprint, right? You instantly tactical sprint, you're instantly gone, and you just fly through the map at 100 miles an hour all the time, just pulling the trigger at the first sight of any movement. And I think the way that both the fast time to kill as well as the minimap changes go a long way in helping that. To go along with that, I think the sound is very good. Maybe it's with my setup, maybe it's with my headphones and the way that I have my computer set up for playing. But I thought the sound was dang near immaculate. I liked the punchiness of explosions and things of that nature. And I also, not just with like the sound of guns, but more importantly with the footsteps and with things of that nature. It's kind of crazy how you can kind of tell the difference between an enemy footstep and your teammates. It's kind of crazy how they do that. I also thought in general that the sound design of really being able to hear your surroundings pretty well allowed you to be a little bit more tactical. Some people will say campy, right? And the thing is, there's a fine medium. I don't think that this game should have to be played with this run a million miles an hour all the time, slide canceling, craziness. Like, why can't you hear footsteps and then slow down, figure out where they're coming from, and try to, get the jump on that person? Like, I don't see the issue in it. I like it. Again, that's just from my perspective. I'm not saying anything I say is right or wrong or anything like that. It's just my perspective. I like the sound design a lot. There's a couple other things that I want to talk about, such as one of the things I do feel like the game should speed up a little bit in terms of like kills and things of that nature. It does feel slightly slow, and that might just be because of the movement in general, because you can't slide cancel and things of that nature, to where it just feels slower because of that. Like, that might even be just the only change, but it does make it feel kind of slow. But some of the things that go into speeding that up are, one, a time of kill, and one of the other things I would like to see and hope for is just smaller maps. A couple of these maps I feel are quite big. I don't know the names of them, I don't remember, but the one in like the sandy area, it's really a light brown, the whole damn area is. That map feels just excessively large for no apparent reason whatsoever. The map that you see the gameplay on, I think, is alright. But in general, I think as long as there is some smaller map sizes, that's going to go a long way in making the game just feel faster. Because that's what people want when they play Call of Duty. They just want action, right? I do not feel that this game is going to be for everybody. So if you're somebody who's on the fence, I don't necessarily think that, one, you really should have played in the beta, right, to make up your own kind of mind. That's part of the reason why I was looking forward to playing and just feeling the difference. But if you're somebody who, like, that red dot change is just a major turnoff, yeah, you're probably not gonna like it, right? And that really depends on the person. Me, I like the change, so yeah. I feel that initially that maybe the longevity of this Call of Duty may not be as good as others, just because some people aren't going to like specific things like, I don't know, the recoil or the red dot or fast time to kill or or whatever. But I also don't think that every game, especially Call of Duty, has to cater to everybody in in that play space. For like all the people who've ever played Call of Duty, they all must like it. Like, I don't think it has to be that way whatsoever. I'm optimistic. I'm definitely optimistic, and I think they have a really good base here, and I think there's a good chance of it, progressing and getting even better. So that makes me feel good, and I'm somebody who pre-purchased so that I could get into the beta early and so on and so forth, and let's just say I don't regret it. It's not one of the things like, holy crap, I shouldn't have bought this, which does happen, especially in games nowadays. I definitely don't feel that way. There's some things I like, there's some things I don't like, and I'm very interested to see where it goes. So that's that. Some of the other things I don't like the UI, man. Like, on the menus, I don't like it. It's not sexy to me. It doesn't scream. Like, it doesn't give me those feelings of, oh man, Modern Warfare 2, let's go, like with the buddies, that kind of thing. Like, it doesn't do that for me. I don't know what it is about it. It's just not sexy. I don't know how to describe that other than that. I find it very hard to find stuff specifically, like, let's say weapon progression, like your weapon specifically, and what do you unlock when, and what does it lead to. Like, I have a hard time finding that. I know you can fairly easily find the progression for like your account, but finding the weapon progression is kind of a pain in the butt to go alongside with that. I also feel that things should be way more obvious. Specifically, like, if I want to use X weapon, how do I unlock it? Like, that weapon should say right on it, like, level 14 from this gun, or whatever will get you the receiver for it, or whatever the case may be. that kind of stuff needs to be streamlined a little bit more, and that would make me feel better. I'm old, right? Well, I'm not that old, but I'm not that young either. So I just want that streamlined a little bit more, so that feels a little bit more intuitive or just obvious or better, however you want to describe it. That's one of my slight issues. And then going beyond that, I'm not a big fan of this weaponsmith either. That might grow on me in time, though, to be quite honest. Full game has to come out. I gotta see everything. I gotta see all those unlocks. I gotta spend more time with it. I can't say yay or nay if it's good or not, or whatever the case may be. I just initially don't like it very much. And then other than that, I hate having to go back a screen to like select the mode. If, you know, I'm playing something, my wife joins me, and I want to jump into some hardpoint or something, having to like back out that screen to select is annoying. If you know what I mean, just like that main screen once you're into a mode, why can't you just change it from right there? And again, these are things that like maybe that is there and I'm just blind, but yeah, that's another one of the things that kind of bothered me. And that is pretty much my thoughts. To summarize it, I like the changes. I like the faster time to kill, specifically when you couple it with the changes to the red dots on the minimap, when you couple it with the recoil differences in this game, as well as just how this is another big point I forgot to talk about, on how slide canceling just isn't in the game. I am so trained to slide cancel at this point that it made a lot of my initial games very hard because I'm trying to slide cancel and do things, and it just doesn't work the same. Specifically with using like an AR and SMG, I kind of got this like little bunny hop kind of mechanic that was doing pretty well at jumping corners and things like that. But it definitely doesn't feel like slide canceling, right? I think so many people got so used to that. That's going to be a hard thing for them to break. But I don't think it's bad, because again, you shouldn't have to just fucking slide cancel every corner, right? You shouldn't. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it being gone. I really am. Well, that just about wraps it up. I think if you're on the fence, you're probably still going to be on the fence, but I don't regret pre-purchasing yet. Maybe it doesn't feel exactly how I thought it was going to, but I definitely don't regret it, right? And in this day and age for gaming, I think that says a lot, because I think the majority of games in recent past that I've pre-purchased or whatever the case may be, I regret it. And yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that I wouldn't have bought this with money pre-purchasing. Let's make that clear. I bought it with WoW Gold, right? I bought it with something I already had. It was essentially free to me because of the WoW Gold. That's why this was pre-purchased. I'm not a big fan of pre-purchasing games in general anymore, because usually developers and everybody else, everything is so just tied back to the money rather than making a good game. And that goes for like every genre of game, to where like that's where the focus is, on how to milk it rather than how to just make a damn good game. So I'm a little bit more cynical now, and I tend to just not want to pre-purchase, and I will wait and kind of see. I'm always thankful when there's like betas and things like that, so I can actually get some first-hand play. Because again, take Ghost actually Ghost is an example, but take like Cold War or something. Like, I knew immediately that game wasn't for me. I hated it in the beta so much that I knew it wasn't a purchase. So that always feels good when I can actually test things first before buying. But regardless. So anyway, those are my thoughts from a casual dad gamer. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe. Who knows, maybe I'll make more Call of Duty stuff in the future. This is really my first attempt at making anything outside of my typical WoW, World of Warcraft, gold making type stuff. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Regardless, I just kind of wanted to get my thoughts out there. So with that, thank you for watching. I'm NBG, and I'll see you next time.